Hey everybody, it's the coach. This is a special edition of the Divisional Round Playoffs on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Oakland Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. With that, let's get up to Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. For the call, we bring in our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
EA Sports coverage of the NFL playoffs brings us to a very loud and a sold-out Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. Coming up, it's Divisional Round Saturday, and we've got an AFC battle on tap between the Oakland Raiders and the Cincinnati Bengals. Hello, everyone. As the postseason continues here on EA Sports, we're pleased to bring it to you. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Godden. And who has the edge here? You got one side that had some extra rest, but another comes in off a win last week in the wild card round.
And it's funny, depending on which team you are, you say that that's an advantage. You'll take the rest, you'll take the week off, get your guys healed up a little bit and ready to go. But that team that's coming in off of a win last week, they're really excited to keep playing. They feel like they are hot and ready to go.
The first of 4 berths in the conference championships on the line here as divisional weekend in the NFL is underway. Fielded about a yard deep. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. They'll be led out by the Red Rifle. From TCU, it's Andy Dalton.
This is a young man who has a lot of quiet confidence in his abilities. He won't shout it from the rooftops, but if you ever talk to him, you sense it, and you start to get it. In fact, I asked him about his mobility, and he said, well, I did run for over 1,500 yards in college. That was an easy answer from him.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber who runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Well, pretty good results here on the first down run as he takes this forward for about 6. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. On 2nd down and 4. Dalton, he's got a man complete. It's Clay. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 25-yard line.
Brandon, lest my eyes deceive me, I think they found a matchup that they're trying to exploit here, don't you? I mean, that's the second time they've gone to him here on this drive.
Yeah, opening drive. It's a tone setter, right? I think they're going to be looking his way a lot.
Yeah, and I think that the way things are going right now, they like him as a featured receiver. Let's see what kind of adjustments the defense is going to make to try and take that away.
Now Joe Mixon. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4. On 2nd down and 4, Dalton. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs. And into the red zone now, and Charles, they told us offense in the red zone was a focus this week in practice.
A huge priority, and the key was to get points so you know that all the time during the week they talked about executing, taking care of the football, no big mistakes, make sure they put points on the board and come out of it with that.
And a look now at the Cincinnati offense.
An excellent year, obviously, because they got the open week, had the bye. But the one thing you always worry about, the rust factor. And I had a coach say to me one time, when you have that open week, you often think about scrimmaging so you're ready to go the next week, but you know you can't. So you cross your fingers and hope your guys are ready to roll.
And from the 9, they get this to the 5-yard line. They're still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed, if there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Every possession in the postseason magnified. And look, it's just the opening drive. They didn't get the touchdown they wanted, but at least they got on the board.
They got on the board. They've got their home crowd into it as well. And remember, in the playoffs, the game slows down a little bit, so every point is precious.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So now it's the Raiders' turn to go on offense for the first time. They're led out by their quarterback out of Fresno State, Derek Carr.
The thing I like most about Derek Carr's game is not just the right arm and his touch and his ability to find receivers. I think it's his calmness, and I think that transmits itself very well to the rest of the team. They feed off of that, and they go out and play with confidence.
Carr and the Raiders come up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
I like the idea to mix it up from time to time because, let's face it, you can't be predictable. But the execution was a little lacking on this one, right? They might want to go back to the drawing board with that call.
On the ground, this is Jalen Richard. So they get half of what they needed. It'll be 3rd and 6 upcoming.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. And that will be incomplete. Good coverage that time by Malcolm Butler. So the defense able to get off the field here on 3rd down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on 3rd down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. They'll run on 1st down. Crockett. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And a good job on the tackle there as they get him down shy of the first on the 35-yard stripe.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
You ready? You ready? You ready?
Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
A look now at the Oakland offense.
And this is a unit that has to feel good about itself. Got the win last week in the wild card round, and oftentimes we say you want to get the open week and get some rest, but many times we see the upsets happen with a team that won the week before and has momentum on its side.
From the 22, Carr. A quick throw, but incomplete. The defensive starters now for Cincinnati.
In a league where the vast majority of guys play hard on every snap, Marcus Golden stands out for me because I've seen this guy play with so much passion and came out of college as a defensive end. They talked about making him an outside linebacker, but they figured out his strength, putting his hand on the ground, rushing the passer with a lot of force and a lot of will.
So the failure to connect on second down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8.
Coming for you, son. I'm coming for you, son.
From the gun, it's Carr. Got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards. So a decent gain, but all for naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
So following the holding call, what can they do here on 3rd and long?
Hey, check.
Shotgun now for Carr. Got a man open. It's Darren Waller. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well.
The beauty of route running is it doesn't matter what position, everyone's doing the same thing. In this case, tight end, selling the vertical route. Get the defensive back on his heels, break off for the corner. And with good timing, you get a completion, as we just saw there.
Now a run on first down is not going to get off the ground as they will get him behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 3. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Check 56. Here we go. Let's bring it. Let's go. Let's bring it. Let's bring it.
Now on 2nd and 13. Carr. That's complete to Williams out of the backfield. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. Working from the gun, it's Carr. He'll let this thing go for Sanders. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Emmanuel Sanders, 64 yards. And the Raiders have taken the lead. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
Now the extra point try forthcoming. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. So the drive there took 6 plays, and it winds up in 6 points for the Raiders. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. They're forced to play catch-up early in this division round game as they search for a seat in the AFC Championship round. So here's Dalton and the Bengals now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Joe Mixon as they start on the ground. And they're able to get this one across the 35. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down. Getting the sense, Charles, are going to put big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Here's a throw that's taken in out of the backfield. And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Despite only needing one, Dalton to throw. He's got his man, Boyd. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well. Ready for the second quarter from Cincinnati. It's the Bengals with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. They run on first down as they're able to get this forward for about 4. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it 2nd down. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Crockett, and that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat? And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Now, the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. Dalton here from the gun. Airing one out for Boyd. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Well, give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. Last time they were out here, they had the benefit of good field position, led to a touchdown. This time, they're going to have to work for it.
They are, but with that last drive that culminated in a touchdown, I think they carry that confidence into this one. Doesn't matter where you start with the football now, they have to feel great about their opportunity.
Carr now on 1st down. He'll find his tight end. That's Waller. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
On 1st down, Richard. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
This is Scarborough, and they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
Well, they picked up a portion of it, but not all that they needed. Now that leads to a decision on 4th and 1. Let's see what they decide to do.
His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback. Now the Cincinnati offense ready to see what they can do here. It's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Dalton with a give here to Mixon. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. 12 yards that time and a Cincinnati 1st down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
So Dalton now. Open man is Ross, complete. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Dalton stepping up. He's going to keep it. A good decision in the end to pull it and run, gets him 9 yards and a 1st.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Mixon with a 1st down carry. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
On 2nd down, here's Mixon. And this will be taken across midfield and into Raider territory.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
3rd and 2 for Dalton. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle comes at the Raiders' 38-yard line. So we have now seen connection number 1 between Dalton and Adriel Jeremiah, A.J. Green.
Say that again.
Adriel Jeremiah.
Look at you. You are full of knowledge and information. And you know something? I bet Andy Dalton learned his full name as well because he figured out quickly, this is going to be my number 1 target. I got to know this guy in a big way.
A gain of 6 there on 1st. 6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4. And he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Now Dalton, and that's knocked away and incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It's way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
And this one is right down the middle. And they'll get it back within a point at 7-6. So the field goal there caps what winds up to be an 11-play drive.
Well, partner, that's a lot of offense to run there to only get 3 points. I just wonder, are they going to recycle those plays because they were successful in getting 3? Or do you go to another section of the playbook trying to find ones that get you into the end zone, get you 6?
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Derek Carr and the Raiders set for their next possession. He's played a pretty clean first half, a touchdown, no interceptions.
Frankly, that's what they expect out of him. They want to see the ball thrown and thrown well, and he's able to do that and put it in the end zone. They'd love to see more of that before this game finishes. But right now, he's got his team in a good spot.
A good spot, maybe looking for touchdown pass number 2 here in the second quarter. And that'll be incomplete as it's knocked away. But a penalty flag is down. So who's this going to be on? So the contact came before the ball got there, and the flag is thrown.
Timing is everything, isn't it? And it's so hard to cover these great receivers. They have such great body control, and they can fake you out. In this case, as you described, got there before the ball got to the receiver. Penalty flag had to come out.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. Run coverage, excellent there from the defensive end position.
How many times do we sit with coaches and they talk about a base defensive end, a guy who can anchor and play with leverage? We just saw a great example of it. And how about the bonus, tackling the runner for a loss?
Carr gives to Richard. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. To throw on third down, Carr. It's a screen to Richard. And the play goes nowhere, losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. Second quarter action, 2 minutes to go on Divisional Round Weekend. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful Divisional Round Weekend. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted, but I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Joe Mixon and the rest of his offense making their way back onto the field. And I'm wondering if maybe they don't go away from him on this drive a little bit. He's been great, but they haven't scored a lot of points.
I think they still have to show him as a threat, make sure he touches it a few times, but as you pointed out, use him as a decoy a little bit and get the ball in the hands of some other people in order to put more points on the board. But he's done a really nice job of establishing them with his running.
Yeah, he's established himself well. Now can they put more points up? And now the throw hauled in by Green.
Holding offense.
So that one a hold right guard.
And you understand why offensive and defensive linemen probably go to martial arts schools and work on their hands so often, because that could be the make or break difference on a play. This time he had to grab a jersey in order to make the play happen. Got caught for the penalty.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. And it's second down. Throwing, Dalton. This complete to the tight end, Clay. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for third down. The Raiders going to use one of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down.
Bull formation. Come on, boys, come on. Hey.
Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now, I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Raiders will take over now 1st and 10. A look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going. But we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series so those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. Now Carr, after the incomplete pass, brings them up 2nd and 10. On the draw, Richard. They get 6 here after the incompletion, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 4.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
To throw, it's Carr. He may try and run for this. And he will have a 1st down here at about the 40. Now the Raiders going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1.
Three down. He's coming. Double up. He's coming. Double up. Check it out, read. 5 down.
On 1st and 10, here's Carr. He completes it to Jones. And they've got it well across midfield down to the 40 before it's all said and done. It's a gain of 20 as we wind down near 20 seconds left in the quarter.
Down. 180. Lost 56. All day, pump.
Throwing on 2nd down. Carr. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down. Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Carr to throw again. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
You hear the calls for a penalty, but I just don't think so. I think in this situation, the defender was making sure his guy couldn't hold on to the football. So I don't see anything that warranted a flag.
No, I'm with you. There was contact, but I'm happy they kept that flag in the back pocket. And that is no good. He gave it a good run. That wasn't more than a foot or so wide to the left. And this score will stay right where it is. And that's the risk of the long field goal miss here at this stage of the second quarter. You give up great field position.
And that gives them one more opportunity to make something happen and something big. And we've seen crazy stuff happen at the end of halves.
A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. He's going to take off with it. And he's got this down to the 35. And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. So even though it's 1st down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. It'll be spotted on the right hash, a 52-yard attempt.
Turnover. That's what we do. Other way. Let's go.
The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's second down. So it's on to halftime in this AFC Divisional Round matchup as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. This the first of 4 Divisional Round matchups coming up this weekend. We'll get back out to you guys in just a moment. But first, let's take a look ahead to tomorrow's other Divisional Round games in the AFC. And it looks like a good one, as it'll be the Cleveland Browns doing battle with the New England Patriots. Meanwhile, in our game, we've got 1 half remaining to find out who goes on to the AFC title game. And to bring it all to you, let's send it back out to Brandon Godden.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Win or go home, that's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC Divisional Round. This one taken from the 7. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Out comes the Raiders offense. They'll go on offense first to start quarter number 3. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
Let's see if they do just that. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Carr. Well, that's complete to Sanders. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain there of 21 yards.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it's just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
They'll keep it on the ground. Richard. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
On 3rd and long, it's Carr. Got him in. He finds Sanders. And he's got another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals' 38-yard line.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
And a nice gain of 21 yards. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to push you back and try and take you out of that.
And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
Check 83, ball goes to 83. Hey, tight end's right. Watch tight end.
Throwing on 3rd and long. Carr. And that is incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now, since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And his kick is good. And that'll open the lead up to a touchdown now at 13-6. Well, looking at it from a defensive perspective, that keeps the deficit very, very manageable. You know, all things considered, not a bad job on the defensive side.
I would say that you've pointed out something pretty good right there, and that is you actually have both sides happy with that exchange. You know, happy in quotes, of course. One team, hey, we've kept it within range. The other side saying, hey, we put points on the board and did stretch out the lead. Let's see how this one turns out.
Yeah, still bottom line, though, 3 points for the opening drive of the 3rd quarter. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
Rolling to his left. And now he's going to use his legs.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the left side of the line.
Hands got caught in the cookie jar on that one, and the flag came out. Penalty against them.
Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. After the penalty, it's Mixon. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. 3rd and long.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
3rd and long. What will Dalton dial up? Airing one out for Boyd. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Here's Emmanuel Sanders now as he and the rest of the offense march back onto the field. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
He got 29 yards that time.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
They'll run on first down. Richard, and despite the good footwork, he'll be hit and dropped shy of the 45. Sean Williams that time in on the stop.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Slipped one tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 2 there, and it's third down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
Let's go, D. Tighten up.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. And he fires one that's intercepted. William Jackson with a pick. And they will finally stop him as he's down to the 40-yard line. Darren Waller, the intended receiver.
Well, this is simply a great read by a defensive back. It's 3rd and 10, so he sits right on where the yard-to-gain marker is, knows it's going to be a route around that distance, makes his read, breaks on the football, and makes a terrific play.
Cincinnati now ready to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. That's caught by the tight end, Drew Sample. His first reception of the divisional round matchup, but it's good for a first down as well.
One of the advantages of zone defense, as I remember it, is being able to see the play develop in front of you. One of the disadvantages, when they find those levels where they can hit you with it. Sometimes behind the corner and in front of the safety, it makes it tough to defend.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete. And the safety, Carl Joseph, there to knock that one away. 2nd and 10 now from the 27. To throw again. Dalton out to his left. And he's going to keep it here. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. The coverage may be too good that time as he breaks away for 19 with his legs and a first down.
Man, defensively, that hurts. They got him out of his rhythm. They had him hemmed in, but somehow he was able to tuck it away and get away for a gain.
Watch the slip. Watch the slip.
From the gun, Dalton looks to throw. And he's got it. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Nice gain of 8 that time, but it's 2nd and goal. Good yardage on first down. Now can they punch it in on 2nd and goal? Here's a run with Mixon. And he takes it into the end zone. Touchdown, Bengals. Taking it in from a yard out as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range but couldn't quite finish it off. This time they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
But on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. Derek Carr getting ready to go again on offense. And it was his interception on the last drive that wound up leading to a game-tying touchdown.
And somehow you can make this a positive, though. You know why? Game tied now. So you're not protecting a lead, so you're not playing that way. You've got to go get the lead again. So maybe it loosens him up a little bit and allows him to go ahead and be a little more free in his play.
He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
56. Mike, 56. Right there. 56.
On 2nd down and 4. Carr got his man. That's Tyrell Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland first down.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
Last stop.
1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7.
It's our time. Watch the safety creep. 49. Check 49. Go Chief.
Now Carr. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Carl Lawson in there to get him. It's a loss of 5. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Throwing his Carr on 3rd down. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Carl Lawson able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down, you bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
A 45-yard punt, 4 there on the return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Now this offense about ready to take over again. And several days ago, you and I talked with a couple of guys in the meetings about how big is home field advantage. And they kind of downplayed it a bit. But I think we're seeing here today, building up this lead, looks like they're going to win. Why home field advantage in the divisional round so important?
Yeah, they may have downplayed it, but we could also sense that it was important to them because nothing has to change. You don't have to uproot anything. Sometimes when you're going on the road, you may have to even leave early in order to get acclimated if it's going to be a tough environment against the team you're going to play. So being at home is a big deal. But now they know, at least they feel like it, they're moving on to the championship round. There's got to be no better feeling. They'll get that 24-hour rule in. Enjoy that before they look forward to the next opponent.
Despite only needing 1, Dalton to throw. He's got his man, Boyd. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a first down.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Again, it's Mixon. A good burst there gets him 7 up to midfield.
Well, there's an example of patience being rewarded. Ran the ball on first down and got stuffed. Most people would scream, throw the ball here in this situation. They stayed with their roots, stayed with running the football, and they get rewarded.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
And this is going to be ruled out, I think, just inside the 20. Yes, it will. Side judge calls it at the 19-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6. A gain of 6 there on first.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
This is Richard. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Richard. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, this big defensive lineman will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Carr's throw here caught by Williams. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
From the gun now on 3rd down, Carr. It's caught by Sanders. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 13 and a Raider 1st down. So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 at the 47. On the ground, Richard. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. A pickup of 10, and it's enough for an Oakland 1st down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at them and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. Now a 1st down run is going nowhere. He's going to be dropped in the backfield, a loss of 2. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Shotgun now for Carr. And he rifles one incomplete. Darren Waller, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
I think he's a little trigger happy right there. And it turned into an ill-advised throw into their zone.
Well, we know he has confidence. He'll throw it any place, anytime, anywhere. That's complete. Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Now Carr. Able to find Waller. That's complete. And he's got another 1st down as the tackle's going to be made at the Bengals 23. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
On 1st down, Richard. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
They'll keep it on the ground. Richard. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance in guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So it's Raider football as we get you reset. They've got a 3rd down, but they are in field goal range already. Now they'll run it with Scarborough.
Let's go,
I hope glad we give enough respect to the big guys up front because they have been getting it done on this drive. The holes have been large, and they've been barreling through them, picking up first downs.
Now, 56. 180.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
In the back. Offense.
So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards.
Down. 180. Check 56. Okay, just like that. Just like that.
Carr to throw. Flush to his right. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up second down. Nothing doing there as the 13th play of the drive proves to be unlucky. So they'll come up after the incompletion for second down. Now a handoff to Rashard. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important third down. Now Carr steps away to his left. There he goes left side. And the Raiders are in for 6. Touchdown. Derek Carr, his second touchdown of the afternoon. And they're able to break the tie and move out in front here in this fourth quarter.
Hey, that score deserves our respect, deserves our excitement. But I'm looking at the clock, and I'm thinking there's a long way to go in this one.
Ideally, they would have liked to milk a little bit more time off. Now on the other sideline, you start to get the crew together and say, this is what we practiced the 2-minute drill for, right?
Yeah, you hope you've been in that situation before, and if you haven't, you just have the confidence, hey, let's go down there and get this thing done. But, boy, that's a big score right there to give them the advantage.
That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays. And it was all finished off by the 17-yard touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This fielded at the 2. And nice work on the return as they'll start their drive just past the 30-yard line. So now Dalton and the Bengals down 20-13, a little over a minute to go. They need a touchdown here to try to force overtime, but they've got the support of this playoff record crowd. 1st and 10. Nevin Lawson there on the tackle. Dalton wants to throw.
I know a lot of people won't like the draw called in that situation, but every now and then that pops big. In this case, it didn't happen.
Hands up. Lead. Check, check. Push him back. Push him back.
They'll look to throw. He gets this one to Boyd. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
He'll look to throw. play. He's taken down. Now the Bengals going to signal for their third and final timeout as they get it with just 19 seconds left on the clock. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. So now Dalton. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked by Kendall Fuller. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. The Raider offense set to get this drive started. And they've got this one in hand. No timeouts remaining defensively, so this one should just be one kneel and then handshakes. And they have secured a spot in the conference championship, and now you can start to smell it at this point in the season, can't you?
You really can, because the focus has been one game at a time, not looking ahead. But when you get to the conference championship game and you know you're there, the Super Bowl does loom in the future.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaughan. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. With that, we say so long from Cincinnati.